listening to the Capital PTBO podcast. Jordan Mercier here. Joined as always by Mark Million, the Capital PTBO. Check us out, 370 George Street in Peterborough or online at thecapitalptbo.ca. Mark, what's going on, man? How are you?
It always happens every week. Something like, so generally before you, like, so a little insider baseball here, unless it's busy in the store on Fridays, and Justin, my brother's here, we do embroidery. So, you know, learning the machine and this sort of thing. So today was kind of like the first day where we took the training wheels off and just go for it, baby. Like, you know what I mean? Just right down the road. So we hit 2 home runs early. It was beautiful. Back-to-back jacks. Both hats turned out perfect. So, but I'm not on my phone. And every time there seems to be something like somebody sends me some wild text or they have some weird request without fail. The same thing happened today anyways. But otherwise, to answer your question, I'm beautiful.
Good.
How about you?
Well, we should throw it out there that if you're looking for polos, tees, hats, office wear, whatever. Yeah.
So we can, if it's logos and needs digitized, we have to get that logo digitized, and then we do it after hours type thing. And there's always a turnaround time because it's a bigger production than I had thought. But if you want to come in and, simply get your name put on a hat, name and a number, like we had a guy today, we bought an LA Dodgers hat with Mookie Betts. So we put Betts number 50 on the side of it. You can totally do that.
I love that. Just
so do I.
Another added service here at the Capital PTBO.
And it's fun because the sky's the limit. You know, if you're a Montreal Canadiens fan of a particular vintage, you could get Waugh 33.
Yeah.
You could get Price 31 or Price Wear 31. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Habs hat right now. I might do it.
Yeah.
Just walk over to mid-pod.
Yeah, just walk over there. Help yourself.
Snazzy new retro edition hats that you got in there where I'm looking at a St. Louis Rams hat from 2012. I mean, maybe I go Bradford. We I don't know. Jeff Fisher.
This buy that we made, the Adidas Reebok retro buy, we honestly considered handing out neck braces at the door. Neck braces and oven mitts. They're super good. Charlotte Hornets, San Jose Sharks, but the old school teal, like before they modernized it, like the 92 teal. It's beautiful.
I'm surprised that Matt Latour made it into the office today. Because this guy's head has been so big on what I'm going to declare on this show the most overrated accomplishment in the history of our friendship, Matt Latour.
Listen. I have, first off, my slide into second base is much more impressive than anything.
Very true. Done. Belly flop.
I have the greatest start to a Capital PTBO March Madness bracket of all time. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't.
No, you do.
8-0. It's
8-0 run.
8-0 run.
There's been some bumps along the way. Baylor hurt bad.
Considering.
Loyola hurt real bad.
No, Baylor hurt the worst because you had them riding all the way to the final.
But losing in the final. So I still have, 300 points there to get?
You're out of the running now.
So anybody that follows on Facebook or on our Instagram page, you would have seen today that I posted all 31 scores. The amount of guys, I think there's 3 in the top 12 that, 9, the inverse. 9 of the top 12 have lost both teams in the final.
Yeah.
So and I'm not one of them.
Yeah, but Latour, you're at the bottom of page 2, brah.
I'm in the middle of page 2.
And you've got Kansas, like everybody else does. There's 21 people mathematically eliminated. I would imagine that number will go up tonight. You need, some guys need, there's 2 dudes that have Providence, 2 people that have UCLA.
Yeah.
So you needed a repeat of last night where the number ones go down.
I had maybe overall, and I'm sure not alone, I had a really good second day, lukewarm first day, really good second day.
Yeah.
And then it's just a gong show. The only good pick that I actually stand behind is I had Houston over Arizona last night. That was my last good pick. But I had Gonzaga winning. Yeah. I fell for the Tennessee Rick Barnes juice, which never seems to happen.
Yeah.
Even when Tennessee was with Bruce Pearl, who, by the way, Auburn goes down.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting there biting my fingers and throwing up at the thought of the sea parting for Coach K in his final season.
I know. I stayed up last night to watch the carnage. So after Arizona had gone down, and I'm watching Duke, and it's a barn burner the whole way, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna stay up here. I like to get up early, like 7 a.m., like 10 to 7. I like that. So I don't really like going to bed at midnight, but I thought, I would love Coach K to finish on 99. Shout out Shane Sayer. We had this talk today, but Shane told me to watch my mouth. But I'm telling you, Krzyzewski to be on 99 and lose?
Yeah.
I like that. I don't like the guy finishing on the whole number on the 100 because it's a number no one will ever get to.
Yeah.
But 99 would have had a better ring.
So it's personal for me in the sense that I'm a Michigan State fan. And I think the Spartans actually let that one leak away pretty good. They were up 5 late, and then just, Duke went on a 16-3 run.
Yeah.
Duke, better team. So whatever. And then I'm watching last night, and it's similar, Mark. I told my buddy Ricky Elliott, who, of course, he's a Duke fan.
Sure.
Right? I'm a Duke
Rick
fan.
cheers for
Yeah, sure.
every single insufferable sports team.
Exactly.
Duke, Cowboys, Bruins.
Yeah, just exactly. Yeah, exactly. Celtics. So he's telling me about Duke, and I'm thinking, I'm seeing a lot of similarities in that. Not that Duke wasn't a good team. They were a number 2 seed, but they were kind of sputtering going into the tournament. But I see a lot of similarities with the LA Rams in that they're a very good team. They have some high-end players. They have a good coach. But it just seems that the sea is parting a little bit for them, similar to what it did for the Rams, where you watch, the Rams didn't have to play Green Bay. They ended up losing. They didn't have to play Kansas City. They ended up losing. And that just kind of happens. And now I'm looking, you get to avoid Gonzaga.
Yeah.
You get to avoid Kentucky, right?
Yeah,
Which
right,
would have
on the
been
other side, sure.
on the other side,
Yeah.
or Baylor in this case, where you might get Purdue. And you're just looking, and you got to beat some good teams in front of you, and you can only beat who's there. But it's, it's almost like the '93 Montreal Canadiens too.
Yeah.
Didn't have to play Pittsburgh, didn't have to play Boston. Everyone's losing in front of them.
Right.
And that's just sort of what I get. And I don't want to see it because ESPN has basically been drooling over
just wet themselves over it.
Like the last 5 months leading up to this.
They're a young team.
Yeah.
Too, that Duke team. Like, it's not like they're stacked with 20-year-old kids.
It's not, and this is a topic that I was going to raise with you, but yeah, it's not Duke of yesteryear with Shane Battier of 4 years, Grant Hill with 4 years.
Yeah.
That's not the way it is. They do have some very, very good players, of course. Paulo being probably a top 3 pick in the NBA coming up.
Yeah.
What's ESPN's dream final right now? Is it Duke and Kansas?
Oh, I think that's the only one you have left.
Oh yeah, Villanova.
I don't know if it's Villanova's probably. They've got some recent history. What, they got a 2018 win?
Yeah.
Villanova. So there is a little bit of recency there, but I would think for them. That's the only one that's really left that's plausible. I think they would rather had Duke try to take down a number 1.
Would they want a Duke, North Carolina at some point?
Oh my gosh!
Like that would be the semifinals, I guess.
Yes.
Final Four.
If I remember my bracket.
Yeah.
They would be super jacked for that. And then, you can throw in Kansas.
You could Super Bowl that one for CBS.
Yeah.
Duke and UNC, forget it. It doesn't matter what the final is going to be now.
Have you liked what you saw? So coming into the tournament, there had been so many number 1 teams to lose throughout the season that this was a topic of conversation it's not going to be one of those tournaments that number 1s are just going to coast. There was a feeling that there was going to be a lot of upsets. Obviously, you're extremely disappointed in some of the power programs like Kentucky losing in the first round, which is crazy. And then you look at, Baylor had some injuries, went down. Gonzaga. I'm never falling for the Gonzaga thing again. I fell for it 3-4 straight years.
Right.
Not that they're not talented. Yeah. I think Jack Armstrong said it on the broadcast last night that they just don't bring a certain toughness because of the schedule that they go through, where all of a sudden they run into some teams that have really been hit in the face over the course of the season.
Sure.
And they have difficulty playing that 58-55 game.
Yeah.
They rely a little too much on finesse. So I'm never falling for that again. But that being said, have you been impressed with the overall product and some of the storylines?
I had a harder time getting into it as a fan this year because we were running the tournament. So I really wanted. I also thought leading up to it. I don't follow it, but I'll get into it. I'll get into it a month out. It'll be on the radar the first, second week of February. Once you get rid of the NFL and hockey's kind of in those dog days where it doesn't really matter yet, but you're too far away from trade deadline.
6-7 week season, right?
Yeah. So I'll start to watch that. And then the second Saturday in, I think they had 8 rated teams go down.
Yeah.
And so the consensus amongst everybody seemed to be that it was going to be, pretty well mixed bag for the tournament. I wanted so desperately somebody to win either the 100 or the million because we were ready either way.
Yeah.
So it took away like opening day when I called the tour at 6 o'clock and you're the leader. You're undefeated at 6 straight. It kind of took I would have liked to have had
a 20 straight.
I would have. That would have been terrific. I would have liked
all day one, first slate of day two.
Yeah, I would have liked to have gotten to 5 or 6 o'clock on Friday night, knowing there's 6 left in the bag.
Yeah. And someone's ask me, and I can do it next year.
Latour, I couldn't give you 32 NHL hockey games in a row. Honestly.
Here's the thing. I think we talked about this last week, Mark. Mm-hmm. I called every person I know after you called me and let them know, hey, I might have $100,000 by Sunday.
He called his mom.
We're going for lunch. Mom.
He called me in Shoppers Drug Mart parking lot.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah, I
called calls everybody. You, and then he answers the phone. It's 8-0 Matt Latour.
Called Aaron Kidd. I called Graham Elliott. I called everybody.
So
I let people know.
This is a bigger discussion, maybe for another time. But I mean, you've watched the tournament pretty well your whole life.
Yeah.
We just touched on a minute ago that this isn't yesterday's Duke. This isn't yesterday's UNC. This isn't yesterday's Michigan State. You don't have these 4-year players.
Yeah.
And with the younger players and the one and dones and going to the draft and all this kind of stuff, I don't think it lends itself to as sharp of basketball. I think if you look back at some of the teams from, the early to mid 1990s, I think you're getting a higher quality game. That said, because of the youngness and the inexperience of the players, that's why you're getting all these crazy upsets. It's no longer totally uncommon for a 2 to lose to a 15.
Absolutely.
You've seen it back-to-back years. You've seen it, 3 times in the last 6 years or whatever.
Yeah.
I think more and more you're going to see 16s. I always think the seeding is a little bit shady when you put these major market teams, major conference teams, in the play-in game, and suddenly Michigan's an 11 when there probably should have been like an 8, 7 or an 8.
Right.
So it sort of distorts it a little bit, but that's just the adaptability of the tournament, and that's the way it is now. But that's what I always find is
I think
back a ways.
I think you're 100% right in that. Like in the era of the one and dones where Zion is in and he's out. I think you go back. You don't even have to go back you can go back 30 years and you watch Michigan and Duke, and it's a way different story. Also, maybe one of the most iconic finals of all time. But even 10 years later, Mateen Cleaves and Michigan State Spartans, and again a different quality of ball. The amount of the guys who are 18 years old, and you do have some people that are, I guess, like your second and third year guys, but your stars are gone.
Yeah. The
stars are gone. So I don't know. I think for me, it's still the excitement. It's still the quality of the event, but it's not so much, the old adage for me, looking at the NCAA tournament was I was going to pick the team that had the player who was best likely to become a pro.
Yeah.
Like a pretty standard fare. It wasn't always apparent, but Zion was an animal.
Yeah.
There wasn't too many events where I obviously didn't gamble on. I didn't enter a bracket in the later year, but
it was obvious he was going to be something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was an Olympian, U.S. Olympian, right?
Some of the old Shaquille O'Neal highlights are pretty funny.
Yeah,
too.
Right. From LSU. Yeah. Yeah. So it's still, for me, it's still the excitement of the tournament.
Do we have? I mean, are there a couple of people who are still going to be competitive going down to the wire in this first bracket? Or is everyone pretty much tapped out of points now?
Oh, no. So our leader, find him on Instagram at Sax84, SACS84.
Steve Sax.
He may be Steve Sax at second base. So he's the clubhouse leader, but he's got Kansas tonight and he's got nobody left.
Oh, so that's it. He needs to ride the Kansas train.
So he gets Kansas tonight for 40 points, and then his entire Elite Eight is finished, and his Final Four is finished, and his finals finished. So tonight's the last ride.
Well, he's tied with Shane Sayer as well.
Right. So Shane's got. Is he double asterisk?
Yeah. The highest one without a double asterisk, and I hate to give him any credit, is Graham Elliott. Kansas winning.
Yeah. So Grambo's got, I think, 3 teams tonight. And he's got 3 in the Elite Eight. So, I mean, depending on obviously in the Elite, like whatever he's got left tonight. So Grambo's got a shot. Again, he's a Kansas guy, though.
Yeah.
So he requires that. The big test will be if Providence can win tonight, if Purdue can win tonight, if UCLA can win. If those three can win, it's my little red pencil's nearly worn right down to the nub. There's so many X's on it.
Well, it's been a lot of fun to follow along, and we certainly thank everybody for taking time to fill out a bracket. Matt Latour, the ultimate overrated accomplishment, going 8-0, and then really the bottom falling out like almost immediately.
Can I just quickly, one secret here? I told Latour I wouldn't say anything, but I mean, we're amongst friends. He wants me to embroider it on a hat. He said...
On the MNC Ravens hat?
He said that he wants it known. Best start from the start of a tournament. He wants me to embroider 8-0 on it.
I want it right across the brim of my hat, and then when I take my hat off, on my forehead too. So that way nobody can forget.
8-0 start.
It's going
to be on a plaque somewhere in this building.
Let's have some fun here. The Atlantic Division in the National Hockey League off the charts right now.
Oh my gosh.
You could be looking at, and I don't want to disrespect any of the other divisions, but again, you're looking at, I think, the cream of the crop when it comes to top to bottom, the best 4 teams in any given division. Give me your scenario, and I know the standing. So it goes Florida 1, and then we've got a barn burner between Toronto 2, Boston 3. Tampa Bay has fallen into the wild card spot. They've lost 6 of their last 8. What would you like to see? And I know the wild card team technically can play someone from the Metro, but let's just ignore that. If you could pick 2 matchups within the Atlantic Division for series that you'd want to see, that you're like, must-see TV, I'm flipping it on, I'm not going anywhere for 7 games.
Pittsburgh and Washington.
Yeah.
That still does it for me. That's still that 90s sort of like right from Lemieux and Stevens.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
You're still...
Because it's still Crosby and Ovechkin.
Crosby.
It's still... The Penguins, they go into trade deadline day, right? And a franchise that knows how to win, and they get Rickard Rakell.
Yep.
Why is it that... And maybe this is something, but it always... The teams that have a history of winning or the pedigree of having won seem to make the smartest pick in the room.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we do that naturally and just think like, oh, what a great pick from Pittsburgh. And it was so obvious because the Penguins did it. Are the Capitals any better? Probably not. But the Penguins still have that means. I think the Caps are probably a better team in a 7-game series. But the Pens still have the Brian Rust and the Gunsels and the Malkin and Crosby, and they still have the way.
I just owned up to falling for the Gonzaga thing for the last number of years.
Mm-hmm.
I have fallen heavy for the Sidney Crosby's going to get one more cup thing for the last couple of years. Because he's starting to see Ovechkin get the headlines. Okay, I want to snag it back from him sort of thing, even though I don't think he needs to. But they just let me down all the time. They haven't really had a sustained run since they're back-to-back.
How many more kicks does this guy have? Right? Sid doesn't have that many left.
I think he retires early.
I think
he's out the door by 38, and he's 35 now?
Yep.
I think he's out by 30. Yeah. I love how we're saying retired early at 38.
38.
Back in the day when you were Denny Potvin or Guy Lafleur, early meant 33 because you were smoking darts.
Yeah, no kidding. Dougie Gilmore went down, and like his knee absolutely imploded on impact.
I think
Dave
Wendell
Lowry.
Clark retired at 32, and it seemed like he was literally 60 years old.
Yeah.
So it has a different meaning, but you know what I mean. I agree with you. Maybe he's got 3 more legit shots.
We've got a couple comments.
Yeah.
One from Nur saying Jordan doesn't catch enough heat for being a Red Wings fan. That franchise stinks.
Yeah.
Which I agree with.
I've seen them win 4 Stanley Cups in my lifetime, been to 6 finals, so you can suck it.
Yeah.
They don't have to win another playoff round the rest of my life, and I feel fulfilled.
For me, the matchup's Toronto-Boston. Always Toronto-Boston. Because, I mean, for me...
There's a lot of inner office politics with that one, too, right?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, for me, it's like, if Toronto makes it to the Eastern Conference Final, but they don't beat Boston, I feel like they kind of cheaped out. I feel like they have to beat the Bruins to, make it mean something.
Okay, so I think that was probably... and not to cheapen it anyway, I think that's the obvious one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I think that's the obvious pick in that round is... It has the most heat on it, right? I mean, you're gonna go all the way back to Jake Gardner, deer in the headlights. That clip's gonna show. It's gonna be Brian Burke and the tractor trailer going off the bridge, or going off the cliff or whatever it was.
A couple of years ago, people forget the Leafs actually up 3-2 with a home game.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know? I'm going to go a little bit different. Yes, I would love to see that. That would be awesome. But I think I could be enticed by even watching last night, Tampa Bay, Boston. I think that has the makings of a dirty, hard-fought Tampa maybe running a bit out of steam, back-to-back cups.
Really?
I think Boston, Pasternak came on like a house on fire after a very slow start. They wanted him traded.
Yeah.
I think that's the series that I would sit back and be like, whoa. And I feel like we're disrespecting the Florida Panthers, but they're not there yet.
Yeah.
They're just, even if they finish, they're going to finish first in the Atlantic Division. They're just not there in the sense that, they played Tampa last year. I mean, was that even really a thing? So
first in the Atlantic this year, second by 1 point in the Central last year. Who cares about the Battle of Florida? Nobody.
No,
People
but
in Florida don't even care.
It's the team you won't even put any respect on their name.
Yeah.
Like Justin and I have had this chat about, can you even, Florida is, I think Colorado's the same on the other side.
A little bit.
I can't put any respect on their name until I get a conference final, until I get a Stanley Cup final. Florida, though.
How about a Colorado-Florida Stanley Cup final?
Yeah,
We've seen that movie.
Give me the reclip. Yeah, the rehash of that.
Rats on the ice.
Uwe Krupp with the winner.
I think there's some good matchups coming in the Eastern Conference, though. I'm starting to get excited. Hey, look, as a Red Wing fan, as Nerd pointed out, it's been a couple of lean years, and often my interest wanes. Now, this year I was a little bit more into it from the beginning because they started finally playing their rookies, and they had Seider and Raymond.
Seider's a stud.
And Larkin. So I start watching that. Now they're at the point where they're pretty much out of gas and they're starting to blow it. Like last night, they let up a goal 7 seconds into the game against the Islanders.
Sure.
So now at this point, I'm like, okay, so what's going to get me excited? I start looking at the Atlantic Division and I get excited even as a very casual hockey fan.
Yeah. What gets me excited here is that this is it for Toronto.
Major changes if they don't get it done.
No. I don't think so. I think the nucleus is still there, and they're a year older, and Mitchell has 27 goals. You can rewind it to last summer where every single person wanted to, they wanted to crucify Mitch. Wanted to have him drawn and quartered, this guy. Give me a break. Now the kid shoots the pucks, 27 goals. He's the best player. He's the smartest player in hockey. Don't at me about McDavid either. Because Connor's different. Mitchell is different, the way that he sees it. The Leafs this year get it done. That's what gets me excited. They get out of the opening round and they go all the way to the final. It happens.
Wow.
That's bold. That's really bold.
It happens.
Extremely bold. I think it's better for them. See, now you're in a scenario where they have to play Boston. I still want them to. If you're a Leaf fan, I still kind of want to avoid Boston.
Sure.
Just even because of
only because you want to exercise the demon.
Yeah.
You can't take it mentally if they lose again. We've had this conversation many times. Sometimes they just lose.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not because it's not that they didn't win. Sometimes they just lose, and that's hard to take. That was hard for me to take. That's Justin's take. Sometimes they just lose. Okay, great.
Is the comparison like the Raptors never beat LeBron?
Yeah, like you talk about the parting of the sea just quickly on that.
Yeah.
The Raps do wait for LeBron to age out and go to the West before they win. So I know you won, but you also didn't have Clay. You didn't have KD.
You beat Giannis.
Oh, give me a break. Giannis is...
You beat Aaron Gordon and the Orlando Magic.
Okay, that there. And then end scene. Wow. Look, we don't need to talk about that.
Underrated, though, coming back from 0-2 in the conference final. I think they won 4 straight against Milwaukee.
In that Philadelphia series.
Correct.
That was such a fun series.
Underrated.
Absolutely.
So quick thought. Leafs gamers. Yeah. All the rage, the black.
All the rage, no.
You're just that guy who's
it looked like... So, okay, so at first...
I thought it was sharp.
I think it's sharp.
Yeah.
Reversible. Okay. The Timbits logo. Like it's Timbits minor hockey. This is the freaking Leafs. This isn't Nashville introducing the mustard yellow. This is you wonder why Montreal doesn't have 15 jerseys all time in their closet? Because they're the friggin' Habs. They wouldn't come out with some, Celine Dion inspired sort of
the George St. Pierre special.
Yeah, the Rene Levesque or whatever. No, Rene Angela. What was his name?
Rene Goulet?
Yeah, no, it wasn't even Goulet. What was
Robert Goulet.
No, what was her husband's name?
Oh, Rene.
Yeah, Rene.
Old kind of creeper guy.
Yeah.
I think the black and blue looked really good on social media, but it looked terrible on TV. It looked like they were just wearing all black jerseys.
I didn't think it translated much differently. Like in the Arenas jersey, I thought the Arenas jersey was real swift. I loved it. But the new gamers pass, like, probably sold real great at Real Sports. We had the opportunity to buy it later in the day. We had Dan Gordon. Shout out Dan if you're listening. Dan reached out to us in Google. Can I buy one of these from you? Rob Davidson too. Can I buy one of these from you? And I opened up my email. Like, I don't even have an open to buy on this. Like, we didn't even got it sent out. Dan finds one on Real Sports. Thinking, okay, what's happening? We never get a shot. Then we do get a shot and doesn't even look good. So for me, no. How about you?
I liked it. Again, I don't have any emotional attachment to the team itself. I often get a little bit cringy when some of the original 6 teams start to go outside the box.
Yeah.
However, marketing people would say that you need to occasionally to do that. But I agree with you. There's something to the cachet that you talked about. You don't see it from the Yankees and the Red Sox. You
don't
the
see it
Leafs
I
and
love
the
all those
Habs.
Yankees third jerseys. Those are my favorite ones.
And not to get too
Seriously.
politicized here, but like the Chicago Blackhawks don't. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the Leafs, and just because it's the Leafs doesn't mean that we have to play around with it and put a yellow leaf with a couple eyeballs on it. Give me a break.
Do you guys want to know what the topic is? We're not going to the quiz just yet, but the topic of the quiz this week, and I think the chat line is going to be excited about this one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, let me guess. Wait, I got to guess. Norwegian athletes.
Let's go. That's all I want.
Ulf somebody. No, it is going to be World Cup of Soccer, though.
Ooh.
Were you locked into that last night? Were you locked into that even a little bit? I know me and you probably going more Coach K, Texas Tech, sort of running sideways with Canada and Costa Rica. Yeah. One of my favorite things that's happened in the last 2 years while we've all sort of reassessed our lives has been Matt Latour's just become this really closet soccer fan.
I'm not a closet. I'm very open that I'm a soccer
He's
fan.
watching leagues all over the place, all hours of the day.
Really?
Well, I bet on them throughout the afternoon.
Like degenerate style.
Is that right? Like live in-game stuff, Latour?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez.
I'm not afraid to cash out if I'm up.
So me and you are going to just back out of this chat here and
right.
and tell me, Matt Latour, how into that were you last night?
I fell asleep at 8:30.
Okay.
I
watched the
wake
first
up
half.
early. Give me a break.
I watched the
whole
first
game
half, and I could see the writing on the wall.
I watched the whole game this morning at work. I even knew the result beforehand. I wanted to because it's Canada making the World Cup.
Yeah.
Italy hasn't made 2 straight World Cups, but Canada can.
It didn't shock me that there was a bit of, I think, what one analyst called a bit of a flat tire effort early.
Yeah.
They played really well, even when they went down a man.
They had
of
a ton
course,
of
they hit
chances.
the post.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good show of their character, but you were going to face a little bit of adversity, and now they get the opportunity on home field.
Yeah.
In
and
Toronto.
You got to remember, they still don't have Alphonso Davies. He's still out for medical reasons.
I do like I like the fact they got beat. You know, I'd rather them like Sunday. It's going to be wild here. David Koski was just in the shop. Him and Neil Morton are going down to the game, and you know, sheepishly, though David wouldn't admit it, you a little bit happy that they got beat in Costa Rica?
Do you want to be at the stadium to say I was there when they clinched the
I think so. Yeah. Or even maybe not to say that in 20 years' time that you were there, but maybe just to get that experience. Because I think if you come home on Sunday, for the soccer fan, the hangover's still on. You know, the excitement is still there that you're now a World Cup team, but be able to clinch it at home in your own soil.
I think that's good.
Special.
Now, Matt, are they at the risk now of not finishing in the top of the group? Because that matters, too, for the group that you draw in the World Cup, as far as I
pull up the group
understand.
standings. But, I mean, like, they should win CONCACAF.
This guy should know it like the back of his hand.
So, Canada's got a 3-point lead, right? And there's U.S. is tied for second place.
Yep.
So, I know that Canada needs, 2 more losses, and you're playing for 4th.
Yeah.
Then you're going to go to a death group.
Let's not do that.
No, let's not. Like, solve the problem here. But Canada could even clinch last night at Panama.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Okay. Worse for Italy and North Macedonia? Is it worse? I realize what level is in from a Canadian standpoint, Canadian hockey, is this on the level of like Team Canada not making the Olympics in hockey?
It's close. Like Italy's just, it's so weird because
I think you stumped me with that one because I don't really. I know the depth of field is a lot more in soccer. There is a wider margin of error.
There's a lot more really good international soccer teams than there's really good international hockey teams. That's the thing. But like it's weird because
I mean they've never missed back-to-back World Cups. This is a team that's won 4 World Cups. They're one of the premier programs.
World Cups, but you won Euro 2020.
Yeah, that's the
like
weird
you
part.
won the Euro between missing 2 World Cups. It's like if Canada won a world championship in 2020, but missed the Olympics in 2018.
Soccer marks are going to come at me here, but shouldn't that winning the Euro? I know they're totally probably different and separate from each other, but it feels like the Euro champion should almost get an automatic bid into the World
you
Cup.
Would think so. That's a pretty prestigious event.
Come at me if you don't like that.
North Macedonia.
We got Eric in the chat now. He's a bigger soccer guy.
Come at me if you don't like that idea, but it seems goofy.
Yeah.
It's just the way I can say it.
I don't know why you think I'm a closeted soccer fan. I almost take offense to that.
Guy's out there now. He's watching the Peterborough United team, too, just because we live in Peterborough.
No, they were playing Manchester City, which is a wild mismatch. The posh,
yeah.
But no, I wear my Electric City FC hoodie, purchased at the Capital PTBO, $65, tax included.
Thank you.
Jordan Mercier is wearing an Electric City FC hat now, purchased at the Capital PTBO.
Thank you.
370 George Street North. But I like it because it's on at like 10 o'clock on weekends. So when I get up, like it's like that's why a lot of people are getting into F1. That's why I'm into soccer.
There was never a bigger letdown than getting up early on Saturday morning and flipping on TSN
and having it be racing
and having it be Formula One in the rain.
I could not agree with you more, and I know it's a trendy thing because of the Netflix show.
Yeah,
and the popularity of F1 is on the rise.
Yeah.
It has whatever. I can't quite do it. I can't get into it. But
I'd rather watch poker.
Give me Phil Ivey. I know the feeling you're talking about when you're flipping around. I don't know. Maybe you want ESPN, the reporters, or you want something, Dave Hodge, and you flip on. It's like, oh, it's a delayed weather Grand Prix.
Yeah, they're in the rain. You're like, no, this is embarrassing. The worst. Literally, legit. The guy who gets out of the opening turn wins.
I think definitely on some of the tracks because I'm in a group of friends who actually were F1 fans before the show hit, so I give them credit. But they're like, okay, we're going to try and get you into this. And we're sitting there watching, and it's just like, the announcers really say whoever takes this first turn is going to be in great shape to win the race like 80% of the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And sure enough, the whole race, the lead didn't change.
Right.
And they start selling me on the idea of, well, but you need to care about who comes in 4th and 5th. And I'm like, I need it to be more like horse racing. I need to have 30-1 shots win random races.
Yeah.
But
it can't always be Ferrari and McLaren.
Oh, here's Schumacher again. Great.
Yeah. We have some contrasting comments. Mitch says F1 is good. Netflix did a masterclass with their piece.
Yeah.
And then Shane says that was the greatest statement ever, Mark. I hated F1 as a kid.
You used to just get up on
what else you want, but there was this collective sag. It was almost like when I put on Monday Night Raw, but it was the Westminster Dog Show. For like twice a year, you'd flip it on and be like, what I want Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't want these poodles.
I used to love getting up at 6 a.m. and watching Sports Desk, and it would be Jim Van Horn. No, Jim Van Horn was always on at night, and it was Landsberg in the morning. And it was 6 a.m. and you could just sit there and you could like 30 minutes. I know my mom and dad wouldn't be up yet and everything. And like just Saturday morning, you slip downstairs. Zoom.
Again, weather delay. It's going to take even more time.
I wasn't a big cartoon guy, so that hurt me.
Me neither. I gravitated more towards Saved by the Bells of the world.
Aaron Canton says Italy missing the World Cup to North Macedonia is the equivalent to a 1 losing to a 16 in March Madness.
Holy crap.
So that's like Virginia.
All right.
Okay.
So Italy will come back and win the next
World they're going to win the World Cup.
Well, they're going to have a big strip down, right? Like, oh my gosh.
You gotta, yeah.
There's going to be a complete tear down.
Back-to-back World Cup. But like the problem is like the team's still good. They proved it in the Euros.
Sure. They still got Roberto Baggio. Is he still there? Put it over the bar.
That's too insane for me. We got to get one of the soccer
Shout out Johnny.
Cannavaro?
Shout out Johnny Ternoni.
Who's the guy who got headbutted by Zidane?
Oh, yeah. Zinedine Zidane, yeah.
All right, let's stay on that theme. It is the Flashback Friday quiz. Matt, give me a little share in my headphones, please.
They hand it off to Johnson, Boise 1. Here comes the pitch. Strike 3. A no-hitter, a perfect game for John Larson. Henderson made a wild stab towards the bell. Here's another shot. Right by the door. And he's got it. And towards the Canada. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
We're seeing what this guy is really made of. What he is. The greatest professional athlete in the world today. Look at this. He's
I don't believe it either. Jesse the Body Ventura at WrestleMania 3. Matt, is there a time check on next week? Is it the WrestleMania quiz?
It will be, yeah.
Okay, so
WrestleMania weekend.
maybe you'll be able to beat Mark Million.
Okay,
What am I so far? This is episode 8. We didn't do one last week, so I'm 0-6.
Let's. Can we get a qualifier? I'm 100% serious on this.
What do you mean?
Because I get out to an insurmountable lead, and then I start lobbing you the saw Pete Maravich. I give you the opportunity to let.
You're sweating already. I
just want a qualifier because I know Canton's on there and Shane's on there, and who else do we have? Who else is
You want
watching
me to
live?
stand somewhere else and do this?
I'm
will.
just asking. Who else is live?
We had Aaron Canton, Shane Sayer, Mitchell Jeffrey, Nur Osman.
Yeah, you see, these are all
Graham
guys.
Elliott.
Yeah, see, these are all trivia guys. They're going to try to feed you the winners here. So maybe
It's not my
I'll.
fault I'm a likable underdog.
Maybe
I'm
I'll
St.
call-
Peter. I'm the Peacocks.
Easy, St. Pete's. I'll call Graham Elliott and he'll be my phone a friend next week on WrestleMania.
That would be a good phone a friend to
I
have.
know.
That guy
Yeah,
knows
he's
it like the
he's
back of his
actually a good
hand.
one.
No kidding.
Especially because we are keeping it between WrestleMania 3 and 18.
Which is the worst. I started watching at 20.
Oh, so I got a shot.
Yeah.
I'm in. If I win next week, you
Graham
retire.
said he's only going to feed me wrong answers just for you, Mark.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
All right, number 1. Let's start with an easy one. I think this is fairly easy in the trivia stage. I could be wrong. Which country won the very first World Cup? It was held in 1930. Which country won the very first World Cup? It was held in the year of our Lord, 1930.
I know. So I'm
knows.
gonna write. Do I just say the answer? Or do I give Latour the sporting chance
You can
here?
go first.
Uruguay defeated Argentina.
I mean, I think that was no.
Aaron Canton told me it was North Macedonia.
That we would also North Macedonia later transferred to Uruguay. So
We'd
that
have
would
to
been-
define if North Macedonia was even a country in
Uruguay.
1930. Yes, it was Uruguay.
Yeah.
A team that always punches above its weight, considering it only has 3 or 4 million people. They have 2 world championships.
Correct.
Which country has the most top 4 placings with 13? So we know about the winner. You get some pride from obviously being runner-up and winning the 3rd place game. But even if you make it to the 3rd and 4th place game, I think that's a pretty good showing. One country's done it 13 different occasions.
Latour.
Germany?
It is Germany.
I wrote Germany. Look at that. You read my
wanna
book
check the
through the
chat? You can check the
camera.
chat.
No,
Now-
Latour, I don't have to check the chat when you get a chance.
We have to go. Should we go the qualifier, like West Germany versus?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no kidding.
All right.
For the
you
record, hold on. Just because Aaron
Yeah.
Canton commented just now, probably Germany, I would like to note that came afterwards.
Brazil 11, even though they have the most titles. Germany 13 in lesser tournaments than Brazil as well.
Correct.
Which country has the most appearances in the final without winning at least once? Hint: they're 0-3 so far. Which country has the most appearances in the final of the World Cup without winning at least once? 0-3. Not quite the Buffalo Bills, but close.
That's a tough one.
Now we're starting to turn up the heat a little bit. I feel
know,
like I
this
fed
is-
you a couple softies off the start.
Oh,
Got to get my reputation back here.
0-3.
Yep. One was even a back-to-back.
Oh.
One was even a back-to-back. Did this
Yeah.
country host one where they finished in the final?
I'm going to guess Jordan Mercier. Has no idea.
That's a tough one.
Netherlands?
Jeepers. Get out of here.
It is the Netherlands.
Let's go!
Is that
Give that
one
applause
fishy?
button.
Is that fishy? So the back-to-back, I think, was 74 and 78, and then 2010, they
Yeah.
lost to Spain.
So
I almost said Argentina, and then I remembered Maradona.
Yeah, the hand of God. I thought that they did. Netherlands were on my radar. But to be completely honest, I was conflicted between them and South Africa. I don't know if South Africa's got 3, though. Okay, 2-1 lead, Latour.
Who has the most goals ever at the World Cup tournament with 16? Who has the most goals ever at the World Cup tournament with 16?
Pele.
No.
Maradona.
No.
Oh.
Lionel Messi.
No.
James Rodriguez.
No.
You want a golden boot?
This guy's just hucking bombs now.
Yeah, now we are just
I think
throwing
this one's a
haymakers
little.
now.
This one's a little inside
insider.
baseball. Yeah.
Aaron Canton has a guess if we want to do this.
I think he might probably have it.
Miroslav?
It is Miroslav Klose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
He played a lot of games for a lot of good German teams.
See, he commented, and I would have totally pronounced it close.
He
which
broke
would have
the
been an
record
obvious
set
cheat.
by the original Ronaldo, the little short ball guy.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah.
was awesome. And there was a player from France whose name was Just Fontaine, I think. Anyways, he scored 13 goals, all in the same tournament, believe it or not.
Holy.
1958.
That's crazy. That
Yeah.
is really crazy.
Yeah. You've had yourself a tournament.
Yes.
Okay,
That's the single tournament record, by the
I
way.
need this to redeem here.
You need this for a tie.
This one should be lean towards Mark because you were actually alive in this instance.
Biased.
In 1986, Canada made its only World Cup.
Yeah.
Finished 0-3.
Yeah.
Never scored a goal.
Correct.
Who was in their group?
Oh,
Who was in Canada's group?
Who was in the group?
man.
Iran?
Jeez.
Is Iran one?
No.
Oh. Is Iran the host?
No, Mexico.
Mexico.
Mexico 86.
Why did I have Iran?
You were just like as confident as anyone.
I
I've ever
was,
seen.
yeah. I was like, okay, Iran and then two more.
Ayatollah Khomeini.
Yeah, the Ayatollah Rockarola. Who was in their group? I'm gonna Jamaica.
France.
France is one of them.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
Oh, my God.
Oh,
I don't-
my.
Uruguay.
No. You better get at least one.
I
here,
know,
Mark.
I
You're in
know, I know,
trouble.
I know. I'm in trouble. I'm
I'm just naming country.
France.
USSR.
He nailed that. The Soviet Union finished top of their group that year. One last one here.
Venezuela.
Not Venezuela.
US? I don't know. No, it wouldn't be US. They're
No,
both CONCACAF.
Hungary.
Hungary. Oh, it feels good to be a winner.
Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Soviet Union, France, and Hungary.
Oh, it feels good.
This is like
Oh,
that episode
man.
of Game of Thrones where the
And I was on
dragon's
such-
been killed.
I was on such a high too. I was feeling good about the
Embroidery
the
and-
Mookie Betts embroidery. I was feeling good about the Gretzky hat. I brought it for luck today.
Tough one.
Tough one. I had Germany,
It feels good.
so actually no, I didn't lose. I had Germany and the Netherlands.
Can I thank you for the Studio One?
Yeah, what do you
Trading
got there?
cards.
Get me a sleeve. What do you got
I
there?
bought those.
These are
my
Matt
cards.
Latour's.
Yeah, we'll edit your comment out later, Latour.
Mark McGuire.
Mark McGuire.
Yeah,
Look at
you
him.
got to sleeve Mark McGuire. That's a big one.
Is that Is he on the roids there? Is he starting to come on to the Andro?
91?
91. He's
Yeah.
Bash brother there for sure.
Yeah. I think he was pretty much from the start, would be my guess.
No, look at him in 86.
A little thinner.
Like, well, he hit 47 home runs, but
Rock Reigns.
Buying the Studio 91 packs has been my new thing when I come here. $2 a pop, and you can build the Carew puzzle.
There's a hipster baseball take that I don't subscribe to, but when you look at efficiencies, that Tim Raines is actually a better base stealer than Ricky Henderson.
oh, sure, maybe.
The amount of bags and the amount of like caught stealings and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm
He
sorry.
stole
I won't go
130 bags at 21 years old. Like, Lou Brock stole 118 at 35.
there, which is also kind of weird.
Like, 35 years old. Lou, we're going to need you to steal a few for us this year. How many? As many as you can.
Well, that was fun. That was fun. It felt good being back in the saddle.
But you didn't
Felt
miss a
great.
beat. Remember, say you're a pro. What do you mean?
Felt good. I was a little nervous. This is almost like my version of the MJ flu game. Coming out of here.
Oh, yeah, that's
Have the
right.
bad
You've-
pizza in Utah.
You've had the tough week.
It's been a tough week.
Someone gave you the bed pizza.
Yeah.
Always someone else.
Well,
Sure.
if I was going to lose, I'd like to lose to you, Latour, because Little do people know, after post game, Latour gets thumped regularly on the rod hockey table over here.
Yep.
It's just out of view, but yeah.
So there's going to be another fresh delivery. I'll have a little bit of added heat on my
The best of 7 series is 2-1. It's not. You're not blowing me out in this.
Latour. You don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. People like the idea that I'm thrashing people.
That's my favorite Mark Million line ever. You've said that almost every time since I've met you.
That was a Million and Macaulay podcast. That was our staple.
What happened to that? Patrick.
That's a story.
He's out there.
He's out there.
Come on in.
That's a story
He's
for-
everywhere now. David Koski. Keeping up with Koski?
Well, Macaulay's a celebrity.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm serious. He's Prius Pat.
Yeah.
He's a brother. Trust me.
I'm just saying.
It's still on the burner.
On over.
It's on the burner.
Mark, thanks, buddy. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
CapitalPTBO.ca. Check us out. 370 George Street North in Peterborough, Ontario. Have yourself a fantastic weekend.